Global National with Carolyn Jarvis.
Hi there, and thanks for joining us. In the largest gathering since the G20 summit, thousands of activists marched through downtown Toronto today, demanding police be investigated for their handling of last month's protests. More than a dozen civil liberties groups took part, claiming their freedom of expression was denied and police went too far. Our Mike Drolet is once again in the thick of things. Mike.
Carolyn, this G20 debacle just won't go away. Before the summit, all the anger was aimed towards issues. Now it's all about police actions. Dozens of groups, each with its own issue and agenda, set them aside for an afternoon.
Civil rights are here to stay!
Their focus is now singular. They want an independent public inquiry into how the G20 riots were allowed to get out of control. In particular, why did police hold back on arresting the Black Bloc anarchists who were smashing up the city?
Surely, with $1 billion spent, the police should have been policing. For a handful of people who caused mischief, we had the equivalent of an army in downtown Toronto, and we still didn't affect peace.
We are your bosses, and we have the right to speak to you as our employees.
Earlier this week, the police announced a review would be launched into how decisions were made and by whom. But the police review won't look into conduct. Michelle Langston, for one, feels her civil liberties were abused.
I flashed my sign. All of a sudden, a van full of cops pull up, and I'm being searched. I had no knapsack on me. I mean, I'm like, in my 40s. I don't have any records.
That happened regularly, even for journalists covering the story. Now, there's no doubt it was a confusing day. It was hard to pick the legitimate protesters from the rioters, which police point to as the reason over 1,000 people were detained, the largest mass arrest in Canadian history. One of the arrested was 17-year-old Lulu.
I was drawing peace signs on the ground in sidewalk chalk. A huge line of bike cops came around the back. They arrested everybody that was there.
She wants to know why. She also wants to know why she had to spend 13 hours in the detention center before being released.
For 3 of those hours, I was in an adult cell, and I'm 17.
Now, the hardcore protesters are certainly still yelling, but are they starting to lose their followers? Over 5,000 were expected for this rally. Fewer than 2 showed up. Carolyn?
All right, thanks, Mike. Mike Drolet in Toronto. Still ahead on Global National. Contain